attracting more young people into the nuclear sector. How many women are moving into the sector? Are we seeing the growth in women
Yeah,
moving into the sector?
it's really improving. I mean, at the level I am working at, as a senior management position, it's still very, very limited in terms of women. So I'm actually asked to speak at a lot of conferences and events, and I am usually the only female speaker. But at the younger end, there are now more and more young people coming in, and there's a group called the Young Generation Network, which is about young engineers and scientists working in the nuclear industry. And interestingly now, that's getting near to 50-50. So the generation up to the sort of mid-30s, there is a far better balance of women. The problem is at the more senior end, the industry's always been dominated by men, so there've not been the men coming through to reach the management positions. Why I've succeeded is because I've sort of come in from the side, so not with an engineering and science background, and I'm leading sort of slightly separate sort of organisation. I think what we'll find within the next, 10 to 15 years, the likes of some of the young colleagues I'm working with now, they will start to succeed, and we will see a real shift in the boardrooms, I think, but it's going to take around about 10 years for that breadth of new young ladies to come through and succeed in their careers. A really big challenge, because the way we work is the employers get together and they specify what the problems are and what their issues. And much to my surprise, when we started doing this, one of the big issues that came up was around the skills which aren't scientific and technical. It was around communications, project management, team leadership, behavioural attitudes. So we've actually put in place a programme called the Certificate of Nuclear Professionalism in partnership with the Open University, and this is developing skills such as communications, commercial awareness, but how you apply them in a nuclear environment. So what is it that's different or special about running a commercial project in the nuclear industry? The skills are the same, but it's the application and case studies in nuclear. That was actually just launched this year in January 2011, so it'll be very interesting to see how that takes off and we get these new skills developed. Having worked previously with a whole array of sectors when I was at the development agency, everybody is saying it's those same skills they need. Usually the scientific skills are developed well in the universities, but the people skills are often the area which is missing. A real key role in the nuclear industry is that of the first line supervisor, because they tend to work in small teams and very often somebody's promoted from within, so they may have been a technician or a craftsperson. How do you actually train and develop that person to become a very successful supervisor? Because in that role they then influence the behaviours and attitudes of the people underneath them. So a lot of work's being undertaken on the human behaviours, the performance standards of that first line supervisor. In June 2011, I was absolutely flabbergasted to be awarded an OBE in the Queen's Birthday Honours List, and it was for services to the energy industry. It was so funny because I'd actually had knee surgery and was working at home for the week, and my PA emailed me and said, "I'm about to scan you a letter and send it over, and it will have you bouncing off the ceiling." And I'm a very active person, I do a lot of sports, and I was very frustrated being bound to the sofa with my legs up, and I emailed back and said, "The way I'm feeling, I won't be bouncing off the ceiling with my legs," and typed this rather frustrated reply. And she came back and she said, "Oh no, when you get this letter, you will be bouncing off the ceiling." And eventually this scanned letter came across to say I'd been awarded an OBE, and I was just flabbergasted. I had no idea who nominated me for it, and they don't tell you who's nominated you for it. You have to keep it secret for, I think it was probably about 6 weeks until it's announced officially. And my PA had opened my letter because I was off for the week, so she realised then she shouldn't have opened it, so she couldn't share it with anyone. She said, "As soon as you get it, ring me back on my mobile and I'll go outside." So I rang her back and she went out into the car park and she was screaming, running around the car park because she was so pleased for me. And I think it's just a great recognition, not just for me but for my whole team that I work with, because going from a concept of a business, a project, and turning it into reality, and really in 4 years going from zero to success. And we actually we're funded by employer members. We had no employer members in January 2008, and we now in 2012 have over 100 employer members that represent the breadth of the UK nuclear industry. So it's a real big achievement and involves hard work and commitment from absolutely everybody on the team. And I'm so pleased for everybody else that we've actually been recognised for what we've done. And for me personally, I've always been a great royalist, so to get an award from the Queen was just, I can't believe it, really, really special.